Your check may already be sitting in your bank account right now, and millions of Americans have no idea it arrived. Starting this April 2026, Social Security payments of up to $2,200 have officially gone out, and the Social Security Administration has confirmed a structured release schedule that determines exactly when your money lands, based on your birth date and enrollment type. Here's what most people are missing. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th of any month, your April payment was released on April 9th. Birth dates between the 11th and 20th, your deposit hit on April 16th. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and 31st, your payment processes on April 23rd, which is literally today. But the amount you receive isn't random. It's tied directly to your work history, your filing age, and whether you claimed benefits at 62, 67, or 70. The difference between those ages can mean hundreds of dollars less every single month for life. There's also a cost of living adjustment, the COLA increase of 2.5% approved for 2026, already baked into these April payments. That's real money added to your baseline benefit, and most recipients haven't even calculated what that actually means for their specific check. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm breaking down exactly how to verify your payment, what to do if it hasn't arrived, and the 3 biggest mistakes Social Security recipients make that quietly shrink their monthly benefits. So let's start right where it matters most, your money. If you woke up this morning wondering whether your Social Security payment has hit your account yet, you are not alone. Millions of Americans are asking the exact same question today, and the answer depends on a few very specific details that the Social Security Administration uses to determine your payment date. This is not a random system. It is actually a very organized schedule, and once you understand how it works, you will never be confused about your payment timing again. The SSA uses what is called a staggered payment schedule, and it is based entirely on your date of birth. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your April 2026 payment was sent out on Wednesday, April 9th. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, your payment went out on Wednesday, April 16th. And if you were born between the 21st and the 31st, today, April 23rd, is your payment day. That means if you are in that last group, your money is processing right now, and it should be available in your bank account either today or by tomorrow morning, depending on your financial institution. Direct deposit is almost always faster than a mailed check, so if you are still receiving paper checks, that is something we are going to talk about very shortly because it could be costing you time and peace of mind every single month. Now, there is one group of beneficiaries that operates on a completely different schedule, and these are people who started receiving Social Security benefits before May 1997, or those who receive both Social Security and Supplemental Security income, commonly known as SSI. If you fall into either of those categories, your payment actually came on April 3rd, which was the first business day of the month. This group does not follow the birthday-based schedule at all, and many people in this category get confused every month because they see others talking about mid-month payment dates and wonder why their own check comes so much earlier. That is completely normal and by design. Let's talk about the actual dollar amounts because this is what everyone wants to know. The $2,200 figure that you heard about is not a number pulled from thin air. It is very close to the average Social Security retirement benefit that millions of Americans are receiving in 2026 after the 2.5% cost of living adjustment, known as COLA, was applied to payments beginning in January of this year. The Social Security Administration announced this COLA increase back in October 2025, and it went into full effect with the January 2026 payments. So by the time your April check arrived, that 2.5% increase has already been factored in. That means if you were receiving around $2,146 per month last year, your payment has gone up by roughly $54 to $60 per month. That might not sound life-changing, but over 12 months, that is an additional $648 to $720 in your pocket. Over several years, that compounds into real money. But here is what a lot of people do not realize. The COLA adjustment does not increase everyone's check by the same flat dollar amount. It is a percentage-based increase, which means the more you were already receiving, the larger your dollar increase will be. Someone receiving $1,400 a month saw a much smaller dollar increase than someone receiving $2,800 a month, even though the percentage was identical for both. This is one of the reasons why two people who both paid into Social Security their entire lives can end up with very different monthly payments, and it often leads to frustration and confusion. So let's break down exactly why those differences exist, because understanding this could actually help you or someone you love make smarter decisions going forward. Your Social Security benefit amount is calculated based on your lifetime earnings record. The SSA looks at your 35 highest earning years of work, adjusts those earnings for inflation, and uses a specific formula to calculate what they call your primary insurance amount, or PIA. This is the base number that everything else is built on. If you did not work for a full 35 years, the SSA fills in zeros for the missing years, which drags your average down significantly. This is one of the most overlooked facts about Social Security, and it catches a lot of people completely off guard when they see their benefit estimate for the first time. The other massive factor is the age at which you claimed your benefits. This single decision, when you chose to file, has more impact on your lifetime Social Security income than almost anything else. If you filed at age 62, which is the earliest possible age, your monthly benefit was permanently reduced by up to 30% compared to what you would have received at your full retirement age. For most people reading or watching this right now, full retirement age is either 66 and some months or 67, depending on the year you were born. Filing early feels like a smart move in the moment because you start getting checks sooner. But mathematically, if you live into your late 70s or 80s, waiting almost always results in more total money over your lifetime. On the flip side, if you delayed your benefits past your full retirement age and waited until age 70, your monthly payment increased by 8% for every year you waited. That means someone who waited until 70 instead of filing at 67 gets a benefit that is 24% higher every single month for the rest of their life. That is not a small difference. On a $2,000 base benefit, that is an extra $480 every single month, or $5,160 per year for as long as you live. This is why financial advisors constantly talk about the break-even point and encourage people who are healthy and have other income sources to delay filing if at all possible. Now let's talk about what you need to do right now if your payment has not shown up yet. The first thing is to check your My Social Security account online at ssa.gov. If you have not set one up yet, please make that a priority today. It takes about 10 minutes, and it gives you complete access to your payment history, your benefit verification letters, your earnings record, and your future benefit estimates. You can also see the exact date your payment was scheduled and confirm whether it was sent. This online account is one of the most powerful tools available to Social Security recipients, and millions of people are simply not using it. If your payment was supposed to arrive and it has not shown up after 3 business days, do not panic right away. Banks sometimes take an extra day to process direct deposits, and if there was a banking holiday or a weekend involved, that can push things back slightly. However, if it has been more than 3 business days past your scheduled payment date and there is still nothing in your account, then it is time to contact the SSA directly. You can call them at 1-800-772-1213, and they are available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. local time. Yes, the hold times can be long. Yes, it can be frustrating. But this is your money, and you have every right to get answers. One thing that causes a lot of payment delays that people never think about is outdated banking information on file with the SSA. If you recently changed banks, opened a new account, or closed an old one, and you did not update your direct deposit information with the Social Security Administration, your payment could have been sent to an account that no longer exists. In that case, the bank typically rejects the deposit and sends it back to the SSA, which then has to reissue it as a paper check. That process can take 2 to 4 weeks, which is an incredibly stressful situation if you are depending on that money for rent, groceries, or medication. If there is any chance your banking information might be outdated, go to ssa.gov right now and verify it before your next payment date. Let's also talk about the people who are receiving SSI, which is Supplemental Security Income, as opposed to Social Security retirement benefits, because these are 2 completely different programs and they are frequently confused with each other. Social Security retirement benefits are what you earned by working and paying into the system over your career. SSI, on the other hand, is a needs-based program for people who are elderly, blind, or disabled and have very limited income and resources. You do not need a work history to qualify for SSI. The maximum federal SSI payment in 2026 is $967 per month for an individual and $1,150 per month for a couple. Some states add their own supplement on top of the federal amount, so your actual SSI payment could be slightly higher depending on where you live. Now, here is something that a surprising number of people do not know. You can receive both Social Security retirement benefits and SSI at the same time, but only if your Social Security benefit is low enough that you still qualify for SSI based on income limits. This is called concurrent benefits, and it is something worth looking into if your retirement benefit is on the lower end. Many eligible seniors are leaving SSI money on the table simply because they did not know they could apply for both programs simultaneously. Let's also talk about Medicare, because for most Social Security recipients, your Medicare Part B premium is automatically deducted from your Social Security check before it ever hits your bank account. In 2026, the standard Medicare Part B premium is $185 per month. This is up from $174.70 in 2025, which means your Social Security check may look a little smaller than you expected even after the COLA increase. For some beneficiaries, the COLA increase barely offsets the Medicare premium hike, and their take-home payment goes up by only a few dollars. This is a reality that frustrates a lot of seniors, and it is completely understandable. The important thing is to know about it so that the number you see deposited into your account does not catch you off guard. There is also something called IRMA, which stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, and it affects higher-income Social Security recipients. If your income from 2 years ago, meaning your 2024 income, exceeded $106,000 as a single filer or $212,000 as a married couple filing jointly, you are paying a higher Medicare Part B premium than the standard rate. Some people are paying upwards of $500 per month in Medicare premiums alone, which takes a significant bite out of their Social Security benefit. If your income has dropped significantly since the year the SSA used to calculate your IRMAA, you can actually appeal it and request that they use more recent income information. That process involves filing Form SSA 44, and it is absolutely worth doing if your financial situation has changed. Something else worth addressing today is the Social Security earnings limit for people who are still working while receiving benefits before reaching full retirement age. If you are between age 62 and your full retirement age and you are still earning income from a job, the SSA will temporarily withhold some of your Social Security benefits if your earnings exceed a certain threshold. In 2026, that threshold is $22,320 per year. For every $2 you earn above that limit, the SSA withholds $1 in benefits. This does not mean you lose that money forever. The withheld amount is actually added back to your benefit once you reach full retirement age. But it does affect your monthly cash flow in the short term, and a lot of working seniors are blindsided by this rule. Once you hit full retirement age, however, you can earn absolutely as much as you want from working without any reduction in your Social Security benefits whatsoever. The earnings limit disappears completely, and your benefits are paid in full regardless of your employment income. This is an important milestone for people who are still working and were thinking about whether to file for Social Security while continuing their careers. Now let's talk about what the future looks like for Social Security, because there is a lot of noise out there and a lot of fear, and people deserve straight, honest information. The Social Security Trust Funds, specifically the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund, is currently projected to face funding challenges by the mid-2030s if Congress does not take action. This does not mean Social Security is going away. It means that without legislative changes, the program could potentially only pay out about 79 to 83 cents on every dollar of scheduled benefits starting around 2033 or 2034. That is not a collapse, it is a reduction, and it is one that Congress has every political incentive to prevent, because Social Security recipients are one of the largest and most consistent voting blocs in the entire country. There are several proposals on the table right now in Washington, ranging from raising the payroll tax cap to gradually increasing the full retirement age to adjusting the COLA formula. None of these changes would affect people who are already receiving benefits or who are close to retirement age. Any significant changes would be phased in over many years and would primarily impact younger workers. But staying informed about these conversations is important because the decisions made in the next few years in Washington will shape the program for decades to come. What you can do right now, today, is make sure your own house is in order. Verify your payment arrived, check your My Social Security account, confirm your banking information is current. Make sure you understand what deductions are being taken out of your check. If you have a spouse, make sure you have both explored spousal benefit options, because in some cases, a lower earning spouse can receive up to 50% of the higher earner's benefit, which could meaningfully increase your household's total monthly income from Social Security. Social Security is not just a government check. For the majority of American seniors, it is the financial foundation that everything else is built on. Protecting it, understanding it, and making the most of every dollar you are entitled to is not just smart, it is essential. And that is exactly why we are going to keep bringing you this kind of real, accurate, no-nonsense information every single time there is something important you need to know.